Shinobi 3 for the Sega Genesis. Slated to be released in 1992, Sega put the game back in development to improve it and delayed its release until 1993. Now, many of the game's features from that beta version would be taken out or changed, which was noted at the time by many gaming magazines because they had gotten an earlier look at a previous version of the game. Shinobi 3 is praised for its smooth action and large array of moves at the player's disposal. The graphics are no slouch either, delivering some of the Genesis' nicest looking visuals. The second level especially is one of my favorites. When you're riding this horse and there's like scrolling in the background, you're jumping, it looks really awesome. Now it's a little bit on the easy side, but Shinobi 3 should definitely be on your list of Genesis games to play. So let's take a look at some of the gameplay action, and then we'll be moving on with our list. Next up, we got a game called Arrow Flash, released in 1990. The game's main character pilots a prototype transformable fighter mech left from her grandfather to fight against an alien attack on humankind. Now, the game is mostly a horizontal shooter with one down-scrolling stage. It's similar to other shooters in the fact that you must upgrade and exchange your weapons to collect power-ups and get extra lives, things like that. And the cool thing about this game is your machine actually has two different settings that your mech can kind of form into. And in one of them, the mecha form, your machine can fire diagonally, you can fire backwards a little bit, I believe, and it also has a very fast vertical speed, so you can go, vertical quickly, and it helps out a lot. And the other form is the jet form. You can transform into that. This can only shoot forward, but at a faster rate, and you only get one hit before you die, like in a lot of these type of games, but one of the power-ups is an energy shield you can pick up, which will allow you to sustain extra hits. Now, Arrow Flash is a fun shoot-'em-up with a twist for your Sega Genesis that I highly recommend, if you can find it. Now let's take a look at some of the gameplay for Arrow Flash. Phantasy Star 3, Generation of Doom, released in 1991. Now, this game's not usually on people's top anything lists, but this was the first one that me, as a child growing up, that I got to play, and I think I've said this before on my channel, but I wasn't good at RPGs. I didn't understand them, but this one I kind of did a little bit more than the NES ones, just because, the graphics were there. It was a little bit easier to tell what you were doing and to understand what you were looking at on the screen. So it's an epic RPG, and it has the exploration of several 2D worlds. You got character recruitment, random enemy encounters using a turn-based battle system, and unlike previous games, the series' staple of techniques, they play kind of a diminished role in combat this time. There's a lot of new features in this game, and with the combat system, including an auto-battle feature and an icon-based menu system, which is a little bit different than the text-based ones in the past. The feature that mostly separates Phantasy Star 3, I think, however, is one of the best parts of the game is that the story spans 3 generations of characters. And at critical points throughout the game, the main character is given the option of marrying one of 2 different women he encounters during his travels, and this choice actually determines the new main character of the next generation. So you play through the game with 3 generations, and depending on who you end up marrying and have children with, it can affect your character's ability to use techniques in the future, you know, depending on what mix of characters they end up traits with traits from. Which is, I mean, this was epic back in the day. Nobody had done anything like this in an RPG back in 1991. The fact that Phantasy Star did it first, you know, I think a lot of people don't really give Phantasy Star credit for a lot of things that they did. Anyway, Phantasy Star 3 is an eye-pleasing RPG. It has a unique story, and it can be played on your Genesis. So give it a try.